all over this nation, everyone is talking about the race war between the blacks and the whites. And now the whites are getting on their knees just to kiss the feet of the blacks. These whites who had nothing to do with the racism that took place many years ago, they feel that they have to step up to the plate and make up for the mistakes that took place a long time ago by getting on their knees and kissing the feet of black people right now. Now, that being said, right? Allow me to be practical so that you guys can get my point. Allow me to bring you all back down to planet Earth. I'm referring to both the blacks and the whites. As you can see, I'm saying it in a way that is ridiculous. People are considering, they are labeling themselves as black people, white people. Come on, check this out. Here is my iPhone. As you can see, all around my iPhone, over here, and over here, there are some sections on my iPhone cover that is completely black, right? Black. Now, here's my question to you, Mr. Black person. Are you a color? Are you? Should I consider you based upon a color, or should I consider you based upon the content of your character? Think about that question. I'm trying to be as practical as possible here. Are you truly a color? Keep in mind that a color doesn't have emotions. A color does not have thoughts, opinions, nothing. It is simply a color, right? And I get it. Black people or white people are going to look at this video and say, but no, it's deeper than that, because we claim to be black and white, but we are also standing up for the cultures, the black culture, the white culture. Listen. Stop inhaling the smoke screen that the devil placed before you. Right now, you are in the middle of his smoke screen and you are suffocating to death. You see? You are inhaling all of that nonsense and you are just going along with it. Now you feel that you have to get on your knees, like those politicians in Congress who recently got on their knees in public just to make the so-called black community, because they are not a color. The black community is not a color. They are people. I am a person, even though I have brown skin, right? I am a human being who was created in the image of God, and guess what? You were also created in his image too. That is what we have in common, okay? This nonsense is like a big fat glass of Kool-Aid and everybody else is just drinking it up, and they think that it's okay to just come out and force feed their agendas down the throats of people. The other day I turned on my Amazon because I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber. On the top of the screen it said Black Lives Matter. We stand for the black community. And then underneath it they show nothing but black movies. I'm saying to myself, why are they going along with this popular narrative that is being pushed by the media and by the far left? This is what's happening, guys. You guys are falling for that tall glass of Kool-Aid. You are sipping it with a long straw, with a passion too, because you are extremely passionate for any human being, for any so-called white person, because you're not white. You are Caucasian. You are a human being. For any one of you to get on your knees to do that, to kiss their feet, just so that you can make them feel better. Think about it. A colored person is trying to make another person of color feel better about themselves. It's like the so-called whites feel that this is their way to make up for the atrocities and all of the horrible mistakes that ignorant white folks made many years ago. And that's not the case. And every so-called, and I'm going to keep saying it, so-called, because you're not really white, you're not really black. But in this case, every so-called white person in this generation had nothing to do with slavery. None of you guys had nothing to do with slavery. But you just going along with it. You see what I'm saying? And this whole white privilege thing, let me clear the air about that. The only thing that I can think of when it comes to white privilege was many years ago when those racist so-called white folks had advantages over the so-called black folks and other folks from other communities. They had the right to vote, they had the right to do X, Y, and Z, while the others, all they had was a fountain this low, sipping from it, while the so-called whites were sipping water from a fountain this high. You see? That was the differences. Those days don't exist right now. Yes, you're going to say, but preacher man, are you out of your mind? There's still racism in this world. Yes, there is. Of course there is. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant about that. But the problem is that the media is just filling you guys with so much of this unnecessary nonsense. And you guys are just eating it all up. And I'm going to say it has to stop. It's not going to stop. Because true peace on planet Earth will only occur when the King of Peace returns. So in closing, I just want to leave you guys with a few more words. Words that I brought up earlier in this video. You're not this, black people. You're not black. And for those of you who are white, you are not white. Okay? Let us consider that conversation between Morgan Freeman and Mike Wallace. Years ago, in an interview, Mike Wallace asked Morgan Freeman, how can we deal with this racism thing? Morgan Freeman said, let's just stop talking about it. I'm going to address you as Mike Wallace, and you're going to address me as Morgan Freeman. And when I heard Morgan Freeman said that, I said he makes perfect sense. That's the only way for racism to die. And of course, it's not going to die across the board because there's always going to be ignorance. There's always going to be racism. But if two people from different cultures come together and embrace each other without considering this color war, then that is how racism would die, within that circle. And then, if that circle expands, then others will pick up on that and realize that this whole black and white thing was just complete nonsense from the get-go. This is the Preacher Man signing out. May the Lord Yeshua Mashiach bless you all and your loved ones, and in Yeshua's holy name, I say, Amen. Peace.